What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clocks on the Stove. I know it's been a little bit since we have been with you. It's been the holidays. You know how that goes. Starting us off, I want to give our prayers and condolences with Damar Hamlin, the Hamlin family, as well as T. Higgins, who was involved in that insane incident that happened in the Bills Bengals game. What was it called? Comatus, Coriotis, something like that, right?
Um, yeah, I don't know the proper medical term for it. I do know that what they divulged from it was that it was cardiac arrest caused by blunt force trauma to the chest. So it wasn't like he had any underlying medical conditions. It was
Yeah,
just
it
like a
was
freak
like
accident.
he got hit in the middle of a heartbeat, right? That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just like drastically dropped his like blood pressure and changed the rhythm of his heart, which like obviously isn't good. You commonly see it in hockey and baseball just because smaller, denser objects hitting you in the chest, specifically like right over the heart, can cause that. But with football, like you wouldn't think because of how like common lowering your shoulder into someone's chest, like that would occur. Like it just isn't something that even comes to mind. So like when like the whole situation was like happening, it would kind of just like took everyone back a little bit because you're like, what the hell? Like you feel like it was such even viewing it, you're like, that wasn't even a hard hit. Like you
Mhm.
normally when you think of injuries, you think of like the head, the CTE type hits where like it hits a guy and he's like arms go stiff,
Yeah,
like
or
something
like a
along those
leg,
lines.
like some
Yeah,
nasty. Yeah,
yeah,
he's doing good. He's breathing on his own. His lungs are almost fully back. He's able to eat and drink now. He can move his hands. He's talking with his family. I don't know. I'm assuming they're saying he's gonna be like completely normal, like he could play football again. I don't know what he's gonna do, but nothing. We hope nothing but the best for him, as well as T. Higgins, who's been getting a lot of shit for people saying that he did it, which is absolutely ridiculous and absurd. And people are just saying that to try to get clicks on their social media profiles. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I hope he makes a full recovery. Um,
hmm
moving on from that, lighter news. Jared Verse, Florida State's defensive end, a top 15 pick across every single person's mock draft in this upcoming draft, has decided to stay his senior year. No, I'm making a lot of noises. Decided
hmm
to stay his senior year at Florida State. Zach, that is absolutely insane. I thought for sure he was going to the draft.
yeah,
So, I mean, first of all, they think they're going to win the Natty because everyone's fucking coming back. Secondly, there someone affiliated with them is throwing Jared Verse the bag if he's coming back. There's no way he would just not take those millions of dollars just to play at Florida State one more year.
yeah. First or the last thing I'll say about the Hamlin situation was when he did awake, the first thing he said was, "Who won the game?" That just shows what a football guy he is.
Big football guy.
Team first, yeah, big football guy right there. But to the Jared Verse news, if someone is or isn't throwing in the bag, I think it speaks more so because like even if someone was throwing him a bag, the equivalency of like being in the NFL, I feel like couldn't compare. I just feel like he's bought so much into Mike Norvell and what Florida State has done for him. Like I feel like that is like the biggest brotherhood now in Florida. Like we're back to our old FSU days, which is I just love talking about. Like it's always great to see. The guys are hyped. Um, you know, there was actually a tweet at 5 a.m. today of uh wasn't Trey Ben who entered the transfer portal in a running back room? Trayshawn, was it Trayshawn Ward?
Yes, Trayshawn Ward, Trey Benson's
Yeah,
son.
so Trayshawn Ward tweeted at 5 a.m. a bunch of like looking eyes emojis after Verse made his announcement. So now got kind of like a oh shit now what the fuck's gonna happen if he's back, then of course everyone's gonna be like, well, if that dude was gonna go pro, like fuck it, we might as well run this shit back. Like we got Natty on the line. I mean, ACC's wide open in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
Like
wide fucking open, dude.
yeah,
It
it
is
shit's looking
wide
good.
fucking open. Sam Hartman's gone from Wake Forest. NC
Speaking of
State doesn't have a quarterback. Louisville doesn't have a quarterback. Clemson's Clemson. Miami,
yeah,
pretty open.
dude, I'm just saying Sam Hartman at Notre Dame, that is also pretty interesting in my opinion because from a guy who I thought may have helped out some professional team if he decided to go somewhere. The fact that he decided to test it out on a Notre Dame team who's talented enough. I just felt like they were missing. Uh, they were just lacking quarterback talent. Like I know you want to speak about like Ian Book in the past, but he was able to get the job done. Sam Hartman is a huge step up to where their quarterback room was this past season.
Dude,
They were
Sam
super
Hartman's the
competitive.
best quarterback at Notre Dame I could remember in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun Kaiser was pretty fucking
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Deshaun Kaiser was really good. I forgot about him. Yeah, he was really
Yeah,
good.
it's just funny though, because like when you speak of Deshaun Kaiser, you just think of like his NFL career. By the way, um, I saw a video of him that was like so sad. It was like him when he was on the Browns when they were at their worst, and he's on the podium, and they're like asking him about like how he's like trying to turn things around. He goes, it's like one of the hardest things in the world when like you're the only quarterback in your draft class that still has never felt what a victory is, and he's just sitting there
Jesus.
like, Jesus fuck, dude, like you get paid millions and your team just sucks so bad. Like, really feel for the kid, but that just goes to show that you can go from some of the highest of highs in college football to getting drafted to a complete dog shit program, but I don't know why I said program,
Institution.
but a team, yeah, institution, I should say, in the NFL. So yeah, life comes at you fast, I guess, but this is what it is. I mean, I'd gladly go own 16 if I got paid $10 million, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
That's just me saying that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Zach, let's dive into what we came here to talk about. We got the college football semifinals, playoff semifinals just happened, and we are going to just break. We're going to digest them. Starting us off, we had the first game TCU number 14, number 3 TCU beating number 2 Michigan 51-45. Zach, what are your initial thoughts on this game? It was the Fiesta
Um,
Bowl.
just from watching, I know it was New Year's Eve, so everyone's out there drinking, but before that, I got my little pregame in watching this great football game. Some of my pre-thoughts going into the game were just kind of like, all right, we know Michigan is a way better second half team, but we know Sonny Dykes is coach of the year, obviously, a great leader of men. He's able to just cook up some insane play calling. So I thought out of the gate, TCU would get an early lead, and then Michigan would kind of close the gap and probably ended up winning in the end. That was my thoughts before the game. But what I saw throughout the game was that TCU was by far from the get go the more physical team. They brought the fucking action out the gate. They were not scared. They wanted the ball. They just like we say a lot, and it's so cliche, but when we talk about teams wanting it more, it looked like TCU fucking wanted it, dude. Like in every phase of the game, special teams dominating, defense making huge hits and punishing guys. You saw um their wide receivers and tight ends take massive hits and be slow to get up, and like they were clean hits. It wasn't like they were playing dirty at all, but just hitting them and making them think about it. Like when they got it, they're like, "Yo, do you really want to fucking ask for that ball again? Because we're gonna bop you every time you get it." We talk about TCU's ball hawk defense coming up with two major pick sixes on McCarthy. And
And 3
McCarthy's
overall
played,
picks, I think, right?
was it three overall? I think so. You
I
may be
think it
right, but
was.
yeah, but just TCU playing so much more physical, and then the play calling throughout the game
Oh
being,
no, it was 2 picks and a fumble.
oh yeah, the fumble being the biggest. You get you get that Michigan huge reception by, I believe it was Roman Wilson. They mark him down at the one. And even if you're marked down at the one, they're given first and goal at the one. You could have easily just fucking keeled over and said, "All right, you get a touchdown, whatever. We're gonna score back." Fuck that. You They cause a mental lapse. They fumble the ball. You get it right back, and then you drive down the field and score. Like that's the biggest fuck you imaginable.
Yeah.
Like that's just showing you like yeah, you're better than us, but bullshit. Like on paper, you could suck my dick because on this field, I'm gonna whip your
Yeah.
ass. Like you're a bitch. Like
Dude,
I love
real
seeing
quick,
that
I want
shit.
to before I get my opinion on the game, let's what do you think about that play? So I thought 1,000,000% it was a touchdown. My
Mhm.
first thing I gotta say is so this is what happened. If you guys don't know, I don't know the receiver's name off the top of my head. I can't. I don't know.
Roman Wilson.
Oh yeah, Roman Wilson catches the ball like this. Okay, catches it like in the sack, hits his butt on the 1 yard line. Ball bounces up, scoops it to his chest, and lays down in the end zone. Okay, that is a touchdown, 100%. He did not have control of that ball until he was across the line. Secondly, why can we change the rule in college where you're down by contact? It ruins the sport. It fucking ruins the sport. If I fucking burn my corner, I do my job as wide receiver, and my quarterback throws me a shit ball that I have to dive. I should be able to get up and score because I did that fucking work. That wasn't my fault. If JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy throws that 2 inches deeper, he falls in the end zone regardless. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable rules in college that I'm just not fully accepting of. Like we talk about the 1 foot versus 2 foot rule in the NFL in college, which
I
I
like the
don't
one
really
foot. I like the 1 foot.
see. I don't really fuck with that because like
Yeah, but
if you're gonna be,
you get nasty catches with the 1 foot.
I mean, yeah, but like at the same time, like I guess they try to balance it out where they're like, all right, if you can keep 1 foot inbound, then like fuck you. Like if you fall down, go fuck yourself.
Bro,
Like
you don't remember Alabama first year playoffs, Alabama versus Ohio State, Garrett Wilson freshman has the 1 foot in catch and the line's here and he puts his foot like this and turns his whole body in the end zone.
I mean, you get moments like that, but I mean, then again, if it wasn't for them not ruling Roman Wilson down by contact, we don't get that fumble. So everything happens for a reason.
I
Like I'm
agree.
a
And
big
I also don't think, Zach, you could be like, Michigan lost the game because of that. No. Because I still think TCU would have gone back and scored. You can't say one play changes the game, dude. You have 60 minutes. There's a lot of plays that you could have had different things happen, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think it was touchdown. I want to agree with you. The way I look at this fight, the way I look or excuse me, the way I look at this game is like a fight. Michigan is the veteran heavyweight challenger. They're fighting for an interim belt. Okay, Michigan's like your heavyweight interim. He's been there. They're known for being a powerhouse school. Like this is what they do. They looked amazing in their last game, like destroying Purdue, destroying Ohio State. Like even JJ McCarthy's looking like a fucking solid quarterback for the first time all year. And then your last game, you lose. You know, you lost. So it's like, damn, you know, and I think everyone had the same thoughts. TCU is just going to get bullied in the trenches, and they're going to get worn and torn down in a boring, slow game where the Michigan's going to win. And instead, they came out and they fucking punched them in the mouth off rip. Every single play, they were hitting them. Every single play on offense, their receivers were blocking, the tight ends were blocking, running backs blocking for the quarterback. Duggan's making good plays. Like there was never a time, there was not a single play that you saw a TCU player took off in that game. And it was like every time we get hit in the mouth, we're hitting them right back. Like there was a response for everything. And like you said it best in the last pod, they went first, and that's what they had to do. They couldn't let Michigan go first. They had to make Michigan play their speed of the game, and that's what happened. And they couldn't keep up. Thus the 3 turnovers. Thus the 2 pick sixes. When you look at like a team like this, and you look at like a fighter even that's like not as prestige or like look as a pawn, the way they win those big games, the way they win those big fights is because they make it their fight, the way they want to fight, the way the game they want to play. That's what TCU did. TCU got into this run heavy bully ball when they played Kansas State, which is genius by Kansas State staff. They did a good job there, but they realized they couldn't do that versus Michigan, and they beat them. The score does not do this game justice. TCU was
yeah,
fucking in their mouth the whole fucking game.
yeah. I agree. Another thing I'd say is we talk about Michigan being a second half team and locking them down. Dude, TCU still dropped 30 on them. I mean, they still got outscored in the second half, but they dropped 30 on them. One of the plays I wanted to look at was that where Michigan needed a stop. They had just forced, they had all the momentum going for them in the world. I think they had like 2 turnovers, had like, I want to say like 14 or 21 unanswered points. They were closing the gap by a lot. And then out of nowhere, Dugan hits Quentin Johnson on third down. Which by the way, if Quentin Johnson doesn't come back behind the line of scrimmage to make the catch, it gets flagged for a pick play because the receivers were all blocking. It was a complete design play where the 3 receivers ran routes, but at the end of their routes, purposely blocked up to linebackers before he caught the ball. But the rule is if he catches that ball behind the line of scrimmage, even though he ran a crossing
It's a
route,
behind the pass,
it's a
right?
screen. It
Yeah,
counts
yeah,
as a screen, so you can block up people without allowing. That caused Quentin Johnson to get on a one-on-one with a cornerback. He beat him, and everyone's like, "Where the fuck was the safety help afterwards?" There was no safety help because all the other receivers fucking blew them up and let
yeah,
Quentin Johnson run for like a 60-yard touchdown. Like that's Sonny Dykes just being a god level like admin of
yeah.
the game right
Reading the
there.
fucking
Like,
defense, dude. And
and what
Garrett
a
Riley. Garrett Riley's the fucking OC.
yeah. By the way, huge shout out to Garrett Riley because he got to watch his brother get shit stomped by Tulane. So
Ah,
while
yeah.
he's like, yeah, I just beat fucking Michigan in the playoffs. Like, yeah, I bet Christmas
Everyone.
dinner.
There you go.
Yeah,
You go. You
Christmas
go.
dinner. Yeah, Christmas dinner. He definitely sat down. Well, technically New Year's dinner because the game was New Year's, but he definitely came home after New Year's and he sat down at the table and he's like, "Fuck you." He's just like, "Fuck you." He's like, it's like literally when you beat your brother in a video game and you're just like, "Yeah, you're my bitch now." Like,
No,
fuck you gonna say to me?
He came in wearing all green, a green sweater, a green pants, a green hat, and just didn't say a word, just sat next to Lincoln. But I saw a
Yeah.
meme and it was like it's the LeBron one where he has like the cig in his mouth. You know, it's like they say Golden State
Oh
three,
yeah.
Golden State, and it's like all year they've been saying Lincoln Riley, Lincoln Riley. They forgot about the other Riley, Garrett.
Garrett Bobby Ferguson
Yeah, I know, dude.
coming to winning games.
He is a fucking nasty OC though. Sonny Dykes, a great dude. They got it cooking at TCU. Wait till they start getting recruits too. And they just got Gibbs, the running back from fucking Alabama. Wait till they start
Hmm.
getting some fucking recruits. I made a TikTok on this, what I'm about to say, but what are your thoughts on the JJ McCarthy posting the picture of him watching TCU celebrate while his team, his entire team, is in the locker room crying?
Oh my God. See, I guess your view on it has to be with how you view like the Stephon Diggs photo. Because when I saw the Diggs photo, like Diggs didn't fucking ask a photographer to take that of him. He was just out there watching it and someone took it for him. That motherfucker definitely like stood out there and was like, all right, there's a camera like right behind me. So I'm gonna go stand there and fucking put my arm behind my back.
Dude,
Like,
he
dude, shut the
walked. He
fuck up.
walked in front of the camera crew.
Yeah, like, bro, oh my, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, we don't care. And by the way, your head coach is probably leaving you anyway. And if he doesn't leave, he's probably going to be suspended for some recruiting bullshit, which we'll get into later. But regardless, I just think it's a pussy move. Like, then again, like, you're a college kid, you're going to do some cringe shit like that for attention. Like, I guess I can't blame you. Like, it's childish shit to do. It just shows me you're not pro ready, like, mentally.
Mhm.
At least from my perspective. But then again, I'm the guy sitting in my fucking pajamas talking shit about a college football player. Whereas he just played in a semifinal game but got beat by Sonny Dykes. You know, it is what it is.
I think too the
Still,
difference between the Stephon Diggs and the Stephon Diggs and the JJ McCarthy is one, Stephon Diggs had an amazing fucking game that game. Like he
mm,
balled. JJ McCarthy played like shit. Okay. Also, like you said, Stephon Diggs wasn't looking for attention. Like he just like was like fuck, this sucks. You know? Also, when you're Stephon Diggs, like you're playing in the NFL with grown men and you're not the quarterback. JJ McCarthy's playing with kids. We're kids still. We're kids. And he's the quarterback. He should be in there and lifting up guys from crying. Like, get your head up. We're fine. We got next year. Like, lift your head up. We're good. We're good. We're gonna work. Like, instead, he's out there while his teammates are in the fucking locker room crying. Like, where's the leader? That shows me not you as a player. It shows me you as a person. That's what that shows me. That shows me who you are
yeah,
as a person.
I feel like that person for them who they were missing was Blake Corum because when they got eliminated by Georgia last year, there was that videos of him walking out and he's like he was telling all the Michigan fans that were at the game and his teammates, he goes, "Don't worry about it. We'll be back next year. Like we have way more to prove. Like we're gonna be back, I promise." And said all that shit, and they did make it back. Unfortunately, just same result. So unfortunate to see. But I was rooting for TCU anyway. I had them with the points. I should have just taken the money line. I should have had the games flipped,
Yeah.
personally, but we'll get more to that other semifinal game shortly. But yeah,
Real quick
overall,
too. The I want. No, yeah, I'm sorry.
no, yeah, I was just gonna say, overall for the first semifinal game of the day, what a fucking show. I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
no
This
disappointments.
is easily the best playoffs so far. Best round one of playoffs we've had since it started.
Yeah, not a good selling point for defense wins championships. I will say
Yeah,
that.
not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
yeah, not at all.
I do agree. I like that statement you made about Blake Corum. I feel like that's another reason why JJ McCarthy didn't do it because he was kind of the leader this year. And when it was
Mm.
no longer his turn, JJ had to take it over and did not do well. Let's dive in real quick about Harbaugh giving his speech saying that I see 2023 me coaching at the University of Michigan. So I was like, oh, GG's, he's staying. Like Caleb sent me something, Donut sent me something. I was like, Harbaugh staying. GG's, it is what it is. And then my dad had me listen to this video, and it explains like every time he's made a coaching change, he's dropped a message stating that he's not leaving, and then he dips. He's like Lane Kiffin. So
Yeah,
I don't really know if he's gonna stay or not gonna stay. I think it's gonna be. I think he's in this fuck. I'm doing absolutely everything I can, and the school can't give me a quarterback, or like we can't win, we can't jump that level. And also, I think he wants to redeem himself in the NFL. I think he has that fuck you. I'm not a bad coach, but I don't know.
yeah. It was kind of funny because when Ryan said that thing in the group chat and he was like, "See, I told you he's staying." I'm like, "Yeah, Ryan. I tell every girlfriend I've ever had. Like, yeah, babe, I love you. I promise. Like, like I'm gonna be here till the end. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, all right, man. Like we've all been there. We say these
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
but
Then it was guy code. Like all the women are like, "Oh, Harbaugh's coming back," and all the guys are like, "Ah, we see what you did there. We see what
yeah,
you did there."
playing it safe. Just I respect it. Look, I respect it, Harbaugh. I know what you're doing. I get it. You're trying to protect all your fucking little sanctity that you have there at the University of Michigan. I know you want one more pair of fucking Jordan shoes with your fucking khakis and your sweater.
Yeah,
Like I get it, bro. But you got we're catching on a little too much. You're trying to you're ending up in that situation where like too many of your side hoes are starting to like meet each other, and you're like, oh fuck, like this is not good. This is not fucking good for you, man. So, if anything, if you do end up leaving for a pro job, you got to pull an Urban Meyer. You got to have like a fucking heart attack during a
mhm.
team meeting. Um, just don't get caught with some girl at a bar, in my opinion. So, I'd say take the safe route. Maybe like fake some health concerns. Have an I don't know, dude. Seizure, maybe. I don't know. Figure it out. But yeah, just get paid at the end of the day because money matters. My co-host is having a sneezing fit. He must be allergic to all the bullshit that John Harbaugh was trying to spill to us. So as he recovers from
I'm
that,
back.
there we go.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but the allegations of him buying a guy a hamburger. So I can have an entity give my player a Lamborghini, a different one for every game, but I can't pay for him to have a burger because he's hungry and doesn't have the money.
Yeah. By the way, I forget whose pod was it on. I think it was Busting with the Boys where the dude was talking about how they got past recruiting violations back then. And he was like, yeah, so what we do is you would join an online poker room and a bunch of people would join and they'd all go all in and then fucking fold and then you'd make all the money and just back out with it. And that's how you fucking got past all the recruiting allegations and shit. So you can do that. You can play World Series of Poker on your fucking laptop and make thousands of dollars. No one's gonna question that shit. But because I bought you Taylor Lewan's famous Western burger at fucking Kapow's in goddamn Ann Arbor, that suddenly just solidified in that kid's mind after his first bite. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm going to play for the Wolverines." He's like, "Oh my god, this
Yeah.
burger!"
Yeah,
Like, now get
dude.
the fuck out of here.
Also, the another way they used to do the money is like at UFC, they would be like, "Yeah, we're about to move you into your dorm, or we're about to move you into your apartment. Like, you just gotta wait. Like someone's lease just ended like an hour ago. Like, we're just moving their stuff out, just moving their stuff out." And
Mm-hmm.
then they'll be like, "All right, we're gonna have a driver take you there." They take you there, and the driver's like, "Hey, if they left anything, like they were in a rush to move out, like just let us know." And then they go in there, and there's like a duffel bag full of cash. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, the person that used to live here left this. Like, what?
Yeah, like technically it's yours. Like by
Yeah.
the
Like,
like we don't know what to do about that. We don't know how that got there. Oh yeah, by the way, the security cameras in the building happen to be shut off when they moved out. So we also have no idea
yeah.
to verify the proof of that statement. So yeah, you're rich as fuck now. So congratulations. Like, bro, what?
Yeah. But
Ah, it's
let's
fucking
move on to
stupid.
the next game. We had, I think this game was better. Number four, Ohio State, and number one, Georgia. Georgia winning 42-41. Ohio State kicker Noah Ruggles misses the 52-yard field goal right as the ball drops on midnight. And Ohio State cannot get it done. What a fucking game, though.
Yeah. Um, yeah, my kind of initial thoughts out of that one was just could you have a better quarterback in school history for Ohio State and never beat Michigan, never win a playoff game,
Never win the Big Ten.
never win the Big Ten? Like that is such a fucking sad. That's what's gonna piss me off more is he's probably gonna be the most successful Ohio State quarterback to lead the program, but have the least legacy accomplishments coming out of his university. Like that just pisses me off for him. And to think about what he was up against going up against Georgia, you're facing the returning champions who are way better offensively and just as good defensively. You have all the odds stacked against you. You're missing your number one receiver in Jigba. Marvin Harrison goes down in the third quarter with a questionable targeting hit, which I don't believe it was. It was just happened to be a hard hit, um, which knocked him out. I didn't we'll get into that later. But also tight end went out in the first quarter. Starting running back wasn't there, was hurt before the Michigan game even. So this dude literally had his third and fourth string receivers threw for what 400 plus yards, 4 tutties, no picks. And Ryan Day decided to play pussy ball, getting outscored 18-3 in the fourth quarter, and they ended up fucking losing the game because they decided rather than try to hurry it up and be a man and try to score a touchdown, they're like, oh, we'll settle for the 50-yard field goal and we'll just put all the blame on our kicker. No, go fuck yourself, dude. Like
Yeah.
that was such
Also,
pussy
too,
shit.
bro. First of all, Ryan Day has showed us 2 games in a row now that he is a shitty fucking second half coach. He lets off the
Yeah,
brakes so hard, dude. Like, what the fuck? Lets off the brakes
yeah.
so hard. He's way too fucking like. He's just not a good coach. He's really not. He's very overrated. He has the good players, but he lets it. He lets his foot off the brakes, and it fucked him again. And like, it sucks when CJ Stroud has this performance, and I don't even like Ohio State, but he should have won this game. And on top
Mhm.
of that, to stretch out the more pussy play, dude, you have like 12 seconds. Oh no, I think you had like 20 seconds left with 2 timeouts. And instead of trying to get like 2 more plays to shorten the field goal by like 20 more yards, you're just like content staying where it's at. Like, why are you going
Yeah.
to put that on your kicker? The other thing I want to say is no Ruggles is a Tampa boy. The kid who snapped him the long snap, Mason Arnold, Tampa boy. And um, first thing, the place kicker points the laces wrong. Go watch the video. Place kicker points the laces to the left. He kicks it to the left. Is it that big of a deal? I don't know. I don't know kicking. But if you go watch the video, go rewatch it. After it's kicked, the place kicker drops down, starts crying because he knows he fucked up. And Noah Ruggles picks him up and hits him on the head. He's like, it's all right, bro. Because like no one's gonna ever talk about that. They're only gonna shit on Noah Ruggles. Also, did he not go 3 for 3 in this game before this?
You wouldn't know.
Yeah,
You
like, and
wouldn't
on top
know.
of that, I'm pretty sure I read a Twitter thing. It was like either 5 or 6, like either 4 to 6 games within his 2 years at Ohio State that he win for them on a game-winning field goal. Like, get the fuck out of here with get the fuck out of here with that. Like, yeah, it wasn't good. Should he have made it? Yes, but don't start shitting on this kid saying he's a bad kicker for Ohio State when he's been nothing but lights out his whole career for you guys.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is one of those games where I was just kind of like, damn, because like I even said in our preview, I'm like, dude, like, there's no reason fucking Ohio State should win this game, but I was like, I just feel like they're gonna do it. And the whole game I was watching, I was like, oh my god, like I look like a fucking god. Like I was like, this is insane what is happening right now. Um, but the fact that it just played out like that, all that lets me know is in our championship, I need some form of redemption. Like this has got to be the Cinderella story. Like there's no way God hates college football fans this much and is gonna let Georgia win it again. Like there's just no way. Like I can't accept it. I refuse to believe. We haven't had a repeat champion since. Well, first of all, we haven't had a repeat champion in the college football playoff era at all. And the last time we had a repeat champion was Nick Saban's squad in 2011 and 2012.
12, yeah.
So I don't think we're going to get a repeat. Personally, I think Sonny Dykes is going to have the greatest first year in a program's history, in my opinion. But
The greatest
um,
first year in college football history, bro. Or what? If he wins
yeah,
the Natty, that's the
yeah,
greatest. That's the greatest first year ever.
yeah. What was TCU's record last year? Before you
They
get
were
there?
5-7, they were five and
No,
seven, and
no
three
fucking
and
way.
3-6 in conference play. I'm pretty sure.
No way.
I'm
No
pretty
way.
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were 5-7 and 3-6 in conference play. Was that right?
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
They were 5-7 and 3-6 in conference
Oh,
play, and Max Dugan was a backup quarterback.
God damn,
Oh, where was their
bro.
star running back a year ago? He was playing JUCO.
Mm, damn, bro. Yeah, I'm looking through this right now. This is crazy. What?
Anyways, real quick before we get to the Natty game, Ohio State, Georgia. I think Ohio State would have won if they had everyone. CJ Stroud gained a lot of my respect and proved that he's a dog. It wasn't his fault. Ryan Day took his foot off the fucking gas. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm really starting to see if there's other coaches out there. Maybe start seeing what else is around. Um,
Y-
and they're kind of like Ohio State fans are a little scared because the whole game plan was that Luke Fickell was going to stay at Cincinnati until Ohio State turned it over to him, and he's at Wisconsin now. and he's locked in. So he is not going to Ohio State.
Yeah, not only is he at Wisconsin, but he's kind of building like a scary little program up there that fucking is a problem. Now, look, so long as the Big Ten West continues to be the worst conference and just fucking or division in football in general, because God forbid they ever figure shit out altogether. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. Let me just look at the Big Ten West real quick. Just
Um,
every
I thought Big Ten's moving to the top two now, though. And they're getting rid of divisions.
are they?
I'm pretty sure that is what I read.
I think that would be massive. Um, Personally, just because if you look at the Big Ten West, it's a joke. Um, yeah, this is a joke. Now, you
Oh
could
no,
sit
they're
there
gonna
and
do the Big Ten will remain East and West this upcoming season, but then they will reconfigure once UCLA and USC join. So they might just fucking move everything around.
okay, damn. So we'll save that for another pod. How we would configure the conference because that'll be a fun pod if we got to redo
And it
all.
is nearly certainty the conference will then switch to a single conference layout for scheduling and championship game qualification.
Damn, that would be fire. Honestly, I don't know how you feel about conferences being split versus as a big one. Personally, I feel like they have like their benefits and drawbacks, but
I
I
think
don't
I
know.
think there's pros and cons. I think there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, what I do think it will help with though is I think it fixes the bowl bid situation a little bit because you
Yeah,
know how
because
it's
you'll
like,
actually see who's threes in the conferences. You'll actually see who's the
yes,
four. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I like that a lot more just because I fucking hate watching like, oh, just because dude, I know we keep saying this, but literally Florida State's the only reason they weren't in a year six bowl is because Clemson got fucked by South Carolina.
Hmm.
Like if Clemson wins that game based on our like situation, we get put into a New Year Six bowl.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like what the fuck, man? But it is what it is. We're not here
The
to bitch
fuck,
about.
man?
Yeah, I'm not here to bitch about that or fucking have a temper tantrum.
But yeah,
I'm gonna go.
man. So Ryan Day, something has changed at Ohio State. Kirby Smart gets spooked with this team of destiny, and we have ourselves a national championship game played on Monday, which will be tomorrow night. Um, we are what are the words I'm looking for? Zach Watts. Oh yeah. So Georgia coming in at a minus 14, which is insane, by the way. Slam TCU plus 14. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. My thing is, does TCU come out like they did against Michigan and shock the world, and they come out first, or does Georgia show that that was a hiccup game and they're going to steamroll them?
See, I am a big believer in the transitive property of football. You know, because you beat this team and they beat that team, you are automatically better than this team. I'm a huge believer in that. So let's go through the transitive property of college football with Zach Watts. Starting us off, we had Michigan beat Ohio State by what was it, 25
Yeah,
in their
something
rivalry game,
something like
something like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, these two teams split and they play the two teams that were in the national championship. So now Michigan beats Ohio State by 25. Ohio State, the loser of Michigan, turns around and only loses to Georgia by 3. TCU plays Michigan and beats Michigan by what?
They lost to Georgia by one, Zach.
Oh yeah, 1. Sorry, excuse me, discrediting Mount Teamer. Good God. Um,
They beat Michigan
but
by
you look at
six, I thought.
yeah, beat Michigan by 6. Should have been even more if you think about it. So by the transitive property, I'm thinking that TCU is better than the Georgia Bulldogs. Just saying. I just can't understand who makes the spreads of this game and doesn't at least like tease a lower line. Like really?
There's no
Like
way
suck.
Georgia's beating them by 14. There's just no
Yeah.
way.
Even if it was a hiccup game, you think TCU, who just dropped 51 on one of the nation's best defenses, is suddenly just going to be like, yeah, we're fucked. Like, yeah, I'm the coach of the year, and we got fucking Red Rifles like bastard son and Max Dugan, but nah, fuck, man,
Dude,
yeah,
so
we're
my
fucked.
thing is, if you are TCU, you need to look at this. First of all, I'm tired of this trenches talk because I don't
Hmm.
see anything different between Georgia's O line and Michigan's O line. Michigan, one of the best offensive lines in college football, and they got exposed this game. Okay.
Hmm.
So I don't think that's going to be a factor. I do think the speed of the defense for Georgia is going to be a lot faster than the speed of Michigan. It's SEC football. It's not Big Ten. The speed is
Mm,
going to be much faster. I think physicality too. I think Georgia's got some literal dogs. So I think it's the same thing as the Michigan game. They have to play their game of football and they have to start off hot. If they start off cold, they're done. It's over. Death. They cannot try to win in the third quarter. They're not going to
yeah.
play like that. Another thing I want to point out is how awesome is it too, Zach, as like a college football fanatic. Like one of the reasons I love college football more than the NFL is like you have two kids playing quarterback tonight, or excuse me, tomorrow Monday night that didn't have any scholarships or anything in college. Like they had like no looks, no like anything. Dugan's only offer was TCU. That was Power Five. Stetson Bennett, like I think walked on to Georgia or like went JUCO and then played at Georgia and then beat out fucking what's his name, JT Barrett, JT Daniels for quarterback. Like,
Yes,
I
that's in
mean,
a
it's cool to see two guys that were like told their whole lives they would never play in this game are going to be leading it both.
yeah, from Stetson Bennett's case, he was able to go serve in the army and have 4 children and then return back to play for fucking Georgia with his
Eh,
ancient ass. Man, fuck that kid. I'm so tired of his fucking story. I'm so sick of it too because they're like, oh my god, like this kid's amazing. Like, dude, he's 25 years old, man. Lamar Jackson's 3 years younger than him and won a fucking MVP award in the
yeah.
NFL. In the NFL, but no, 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 no. Oh, dude, Justin Fields is like 3 years younger. There's guys in the NFL who are like 3 year all pros, and they're younger than this
Yeah.
kid, and they're still over here like, oh my god, man, this Stetson Bennett story is just unreal. Like, dude, fuck off. I don't want to hear
No,
it.
completely just shit on me.
Yeah, no, I'm sick of it. And what pisses me off more, the reason why this pissed me off more is because everywhere I look about this college football preview for the championship, it's like, oh, 2 Heisman finalists are going up against each other. Fuck you if you think Stetson Bennett even deserved a seat in New
Yeah,
York
get
for
the
that shit.
fuck
That
out of
was
here.
bullshit. That was so fucking narrated. Like they just
Yeah.
put him in there just so they could like say
You
that
could
when
build a
these two teams
story. Yeah,
matched up.
exactly. It's exactly what
Yeah.
they did.
Like, oh my God, like fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like I am not hearing you out on anything. And look, you can say all you want about how he stepped up this year as a quarterback and really revitalized this Georgia offense. Look, yes, they've become way more balanced as a team. They're not as defensive orientated as they were in the past. They have a lot more weapons with like Brock Bauer. Their outside receiving stepped up in some regards because we saw Ohio State's DBs get cooked in the semis game, but we also saw them get cooked against
Yeah, I
Michigan. So it
think I
wasn't
think
like they were.
Ohio State's secondary sucks.
Yeah, I think this is where I think TCU plays a lot better than you look at LaDainian Thomason's nephew uh leading the charge for that TCU DBs room. They have okay, first of all, if you have 2 DBs wearing number 1 and number 2, that is the most terrifying thing you could
Yeah,
ever
that's
ask for.
hard. That's
Yeah, it's
hard.
hard as fuck. So that's fucking terrifying. Also,
Yeah, who
I'm
wait. They have the Jim Thorpe Award winner.
who TCU?
Yeah, they had the cornerback of the year, the defensive back of the year.
Yeah, yeah. So I personally I think TCU is going to give Stetson a way harder time, in my opinion. So, um, if I was Georgia, I would
Yeah,
not try to win.
Trevius Hodges Tomlinson won the Jim Thorpe.
That's LaDainian
LT's, yeah.
Tomlinson. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
he's
best
a
defensive back in college football.
he's a fucking dog. He's a menace. My biggest thing for this game is, um, I just think personally, TCU is going to have to be obviously they're going to rely on Dugan with his arm and his play calling like he's a stud. But I think where the game's really going to be won is in with a run game. Personally, I don't think it's necessarily going to be like their driven point of focus for their D, but they're going to have Georgia respect their D if they want
Yes.
or respect their run game if they want Dugan to ball out as he should. You can bring up these exotic blitz packages, but at some point you're going to get burned by it. So if you can just have a solid run game. Now, I know that Miller, I think his name is,
Yeah.
went out of the game with a knee injury. I don't know if he's going to be available, but their
I think
backup
he's
running back.
playing. I think he's playing.
Well, even if he doesn't, their backup just as good. I think he's the Louisiana transfer possibly. I could Demercado. They also have Imani Bailey, who that was the Louisiana running back, but Demercado just as solid. I think that's going to be a huge point of focus for them. Also for Dugan, just get the ball to Quentin Johnson. number 4 on the big board for receivers. He's a huge body. He's going to get things done. He had some big plays in that semifinal game, so I expect him to really step up in this game as well. Um, for Georgia, I do respect Kirby Smart because right after the game, he was like, I saw what fucking TCU did to Michigan. So he's like, we got our work cut out for us. He's not overlooking them at all. He's going to have these boys focused and ready to go. But like I said, I think their biggest playmakers are their tight ends. And I think TCU will have a perfect game plan for them. So it's going to be a hell of a game. In any respect, I'm interested to hear what you have to say on it, but definitely going to be locked in for this one.
I think so key things to watch for this game. First of all, obviously both quarterbacks. I think let's start with TCU. Establish a run game. Don't rely on a run game. Establish a run game. Let Georgia know, even if we're going to rely on Dugan and we're going to rely on his arm, let them know we're not doing this because we have to. We're doing this because we're choosing to. We can still run the ball. That needs to be
Mm,
established. Once the physicality of their offense is removed, and Georgia can drop a D lineman back and have another guy out there, I think their defense is just too good. I think you need to keep the threat of it. Let Dugan have the ball. The ball should be in Dugan's hands on the biggest plays. Okay? The biggest plays in the game should have the ball in Dugan's hand every time. Every single time. Defensively, you have to get to Stetson Bennett early. Early. He needs to feel pressure early. You get him playing bad, their whole offense is disrupted. The only thing is, I think the one thing that might hurt them is the amount of weapons the Georgia offense has. It is a mismatch to TCU, in my opinion. So
mm.
TCU needs to get them early. Their D line needs to be ready to grind because these kids are going to be physical in the trenches. But they need to get the pressure on Stetson early. Do not let this kid get comfortable. Regardless of what you think about him, Zach, if he's comfortable, he's going to make the easy passes and his guys are going to get open. Keep him moving nonstop. He cannot have his feet planted.
Yeah, I agree. You know, outside of TCU, if you want to look at Georgia's key to success in this one, I think it's just don't let Stetson Bennett fuck you. And I know that's weird to say considering how good he's played this year, but um, these TCU DBs are extremely talented, and you saw the way that they beat Michigan was by forcing turnovers. An easy way to avoid turnovers is by keeping the ball on the ground and just let the war be one in the trenches. Stick it between the tackles, show that you're SEC football for a reason. Dwindle the clock. If you get into a shootout with TCU, no offense to Georgia, but in a shootout, I'm leaning towards Sonny Dykes. He's proven it all year that he can put it up with the best of them. He's built his guys for that, and they're war ready, and I think Georgia's war ready too. But stick to your strengths. Don't try to get too fancy. I know probably what we're going to see a lot is we're going to see a lot of slip screens, play action pass, trying to take some deep shots over the top. Don't do that. Don't be stupid. If you want to do that, by all means, go for it. I am taking TCU in this one, plus 13. By all means, go ahead and try it because I promise you, TCU will show you that they are not Big 12 football. They are the best of the best football, by all means. So that's kind of why I'm leaning with there. Um, Moving on from that, though, let's get into our picks for this game. I know the line right now is Georgia minus 13. Over under, I believe, is at 62 and a half.
One
So,
other real
brace.
quick point I want to make, Zach. Georgia, if you go look at them this season and even look at them last season, they don't do good when the game is close. They only play well when they get a big lead and they start bullying you. Look at the Missouri
Mm,
game, dude. They should have lost the Missouri game. Missouri just kept it a one-score game the whole game, and then it like freaked them out at the end. They only are good at bully ball. So if TCU can just keep it even within 10, and they can just keep it within 10 the whole game, I think they're gonna have a good shot. Give me
yeah.
give me TCU plus 13. I'm not touching the over under.
Um, I'm,
Also give me Dugan 50 yards rushing.
mm, Interesting take there. I'm going to take TCU plus 13. I'm also going to take the over of 62 and a half. And the reason being is because if you look at every other national championship game in the past, we see the biggest stars on the biggest stage and they tend to ball out. Let's go look at la- let's just look at last year's national championship. Um, Natty 2022. I believe it was what Notre Dame or was it Georgia Alabama?
Yeah.
Okay, that hit the over and the over on that was what four. They ended up scoring 51 total points in that. Um, in 2021, it was Alabama beat Ohio State 52-24. That was like 70 combined points.
Yeah, Mac
Uh,
Jones, bro. They were just eating that year.
in 2020, LSU beat Clemson 42-25, 67 total points. And even back to 2019, if we want to go that far, Clemson beat Alabama 44-16. Um, so yeah,
Like
that one
60 on the
combined
dot.
60 points. Yeah. So I'm leaning towards the over in this. I mean, fuck, look at the semifinal game, bro.
I
What?
know, but that's what I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I just I don't see either defense. First of all, I don't see this being a blowout, and I don't see either of these defenses just completely like stopping the other team. So points are going to be scored regardless. Um, if this was like a good back and forth, like getting big stops game, I would love to see that for a viewing experience. But I think the narrative is in. We're going to be seeing a lot of flags to continue drives.
Yeah,
We're
for
going to see a lot of
sure.
those BS penalties where we're like, oh my god, how the fuck was that pass interference? Like that totally
Mhm.
wasn't just to lead to more touchdowns. We're going to see some bullshit pass interference. We're going to see a whole lot of missed holding calls. It's just going to be one. I don't know. Let me see who the officiating staff is. Because this will be a big deciding factor. College football championship. For referee, what should I just search up? Like referees. Yeah. Oh shit.
Who's officiating it?
Okay.
What conference is officiating it?
Wait, what? They list everyone.
It's got to be it's a non Big 12, non SEC refing staff because it's got to be a neutral refs.
Bro, what? What refs are going to do the national championship? Why is this so hard to find? Oh, I think I found it. Oh, it's ACC refs.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's ACC. I just found it. Jeff Heezer will be the replay. No, no, replay is Mark McCain. McCanany, McCanany, whatever the fuck his name is.
So it's ACC.
Yeah, it's ACC.
I don't know.
It's
That's good or
ACC.
bad. I feel like that's bad.
I feel like that is very bad because typically when we watch ACC football games this year, there was just a whole lot of
Yeah, a whole lot
fuckery.
of bullshit.
Yeah, a whole lot of bullshit. In my opinion, that's what we need to start looking at more. We need to see who refs these fucking games because
Yeah,
yeah, because
we
there's
need to start writing down the names of judges in MMA and refs in football.
yeah, um, yeah. I feel like my biggest thing with MMA is the fact. Well, honestly, all sports they need to force these refs to sit down in a press booth or not a press booth, but
Like a
post
post
game
game interview.
conference.
Yeah,
Yeah, post and have interview and have people asking questions. Honestly, make it even more interesting. Bring in the fucking players and have them ask questions. You just sit them down and be like, yo, so in that third quarter when you fucked me
dude. I
by
think they
calling that
should
holding.
though. I think refs and judges for MMA and football and basketball, all of them should be interviewed after the games. Why not?
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
All the players are, and they're way more in control. Like they have they can control the destiny of the game. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. I think it's bullshit. But then again, I'm not in charge of that. You know what I am also pissed about that is most definitely some bullshit is the fact that at the national championship game, which is being held at SoFi Stadium, won't be allowed to have tailgating, which I think should be fucking illegal if you're gonna ban tailgating. That's not American. That is the most anti-American shit I've ever heard. But you can thank the state of California for that. So
Yeah, that
go
is some
fuck them.
California shit.
Yeah. By the way, shout out Georgia's governor. I believe his last name's Kemp, but he literally came out and as a legislator was just like, yeah, fuck California. He's like, we're not letting us tailgate. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, like that ain't American.
That
And it
ain't
isn't. Because like
football.
to be honest, yeah, that ain't football. Like, what's more football than showing up pissed drunk in a parking lot, grilling some dogs, drinking some beers for my game? But unfortunately, you can't do that. So instead, what's going to happen is whatever the closest in and out is to the stadium, is getting fucking looted and ransacked for sure. They're going to maul that place most
Yo,
definitely.
if this does happen, we were not in any way in charge of that or like had any knowledge. This is simply just Zach talking out of his ass.
Yeah, I actually
Just
have a
want to make
Facebook
sure we're
group.
good and share it twice.
Yeah, yeah. You can actually join my Facebook group. It's called "We Will Destroy the In and Out Next to SoFi Stadium." Currently at
Because of clocks on the
800.
stove.
Yeah, yeah. Currently at 800 members. We will not be using any tools. This will just be bare knuckle, Waffle House style. We'll just fight the employees. Honestly, though, I would never fight any Waffle House staff employee. I would definitely fuck out an In and Out employee though. They seem like some bitches.
Bro,
Um,
imagine like the game Monday night. They're like, and at the local In and Out, there's 800 staff members just lined up around the building.
yeah, they just have like SWAT like just posted up in the fucking
Yo, but it's like the In
posted
and
up in the
Out
parking lot.
logo on the riot shield.
Oh yeah, that's like oh my God, they like privately contracted like military vets to wear like In and Out shit for the stadium. But
Oh,
um yeah, what's really bullshit about this though is I would understand if it was like no tailgating at all, like at any SoFi event. But the fact that Rams and Chargers have designated areas for tailgating for the professional teams, but just because you're hosting one college championship, you're suddenly just like, nah, sorry. You're gonna have to spend all your money on our $20 beers that we're selling during concessions.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that? Like, who decided that? Who thought that that'd be a good idea? Now, pretty much what you did, which we are not endorsing this, we are totally against this. What you endorsed is for people to drive drunk to your games. That is what
Yeah,
you're telling
yeah,
kids to
pretty
do.
much. I
Yeah, you
just
just
don't get what do you gain from this? Like if you let tailgating, people are gonna spend more money because they're gonna be drunk and want to keep drinking and eat food. And it's
yeah,
fucking football, dude.
yeah.
If
If
I
anything,
paid
which
two
I would
thousand dollars to go to watch the Super Bowl and I couldn't drink before
oh
with
my
my
God.
homies,
Nah, sorry. I mean, dude, even you look at the World Cup where they accepted like millions of dollars worth of like beer sponsorships, and then like right before they started the games, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're banning alcohol. So if we catch you drinking alcohol, we'll throw you in fucking prison." You can't tell a bunch of Englishmen that they can't drink, or Irishmen for that matter. Like you're just pissing on the
did they?
sanctity
Did
of
they
like
drink
being a
at the
man.
games?
I mean, people tried to. They got jailed immediately.
Jesus. Yeah,
Because
I saw a comment that was like it said it said it said like SoFi Stadium not allowing tailgates, and someone goes, well, "I didn't know the Super Bowl was held in Qatar this year."
oh God. I mean, dude, it just pisses me off because like no one because okay, let me put it this way. If you wanted to show up to the game early, what the fuck are you gonna do now?
Yeah,
What are
like
you
you're
gonna do?
not like can you see people are gonna tailgate. There's no like what can you not sit in your car? Can I not sit in the bed of my truck? Is that illegal?
Yeah, they should just like I don't know if you've seen like Scooby Doo Spooky Island, but where like they have the mystery machine and they're like grilling hot dogs through like the vent in the back of their van. They just like have all the windows closed. Like that. I feel like you have to Scooby Doo the fuck out of
Dude,
that
I
shit.
would be so mad if I got like Christmas like for Christmas I got like Super Bowl tickets and then we go there and we're like, oh, we're sober the whole week. Like we're sober the whole trip.
Yep. Yep. I mean, because I'm telling you, the closest hotel you're gonna let me, I'm gonna do some little
And
research
the
just
other
so I
thing
can
is
talk
too,
professional
Zach,
shit.
is that I would if I was in this scenario, I'd get fucked because I would end up trying to black out too hard before because I would want to black out hard enough that I could like control, but it would also last me to like the fourth quarter, you know?
Yeah.
So I would probably like not remember the first half of the game.
Mm. Yeah, you want to get a hotel room at the closest place next to SoFi Stadium. That'll be $150 a night, $200 a night. Sick.
Probably an $80
Uh,
Uber there.
oh, easily. Yeah. So even if you wanted to get like shit faced drunk and walk there, probably be about like a 2, 3 mile walk
Jesus.
easily. Yeah. So
You're gonna
you're
lose your
just
drunk.
yeah, you're gonna lose your drunk. You're gonna show up. Now you're gonna be more mad. Now you got to take a piss, which
And
you're not.
you're sticky,
Yeah, you're sticky. I don't know
sweaty.
what you're. Yeah, I was gonna say we could have gone a lot of places there with why you're sticky. I didn't want to know.
You're
Was a
sweaty
little
and
confused.
sticky. You know, you
Yeah,
walk 3 miles, you're hammered, pissed your
yeah,
pants, cried a little.
yeah,
One of those days.
yeah. Don't know what you're doing in the porta potties before the game. That's on you. Don't. Not gonna ask questions here. Clock's on the stove. Just enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, man, or your college football Mondays. Whatever the fuck, whatever you got going on there in SoFi, man. Enjoy your fucking week, bro. Oh god.
But yeah, that concludes our episode. Once again, thank you. Prayers for Damar Hamlin and his family and T. Higgins. And let's go Horned Frogs. Zach Watts.
Go Horn Frogs. Give me the TCU money line. Fuck it. I'm changing my pick now because Max Dugan is the man of the hour. So, but if we fucking lose, I'm cutting this part out. So either way, I win.